All right, so bear with me in these trying times. It's my first time on Earth. So basically, my stupid little, shitty little phone decided to no more storage, and then my laptop, no more storage. So we had no storage, no space to keep recording. That is getting fixed sooner rather than later. Unfortunately, when I was finished or when I was doing this, it was around 3 o'clock. It is now 6 in the morning. Actually, it is 6:57, so it's about to be 7. So the crunch time is on. So I had already done the key corks and everything, so we're just gonna do this, and I'll explain after it's on. So I cut a little slot, just gonna slide it on there. Now some people just do half and half. They'll just do half crow's foot on, half, basically just have 2 pieces. I prefer having things in one piece. I don't know. It just looks better. I think it doesn't look as bad. So this is gonna be difficult just because it's such a thin piece, and especially because there's no like support around any of it. I'm gonna throw away that razor. And when I say throw away, it's going in Sharp's disposal. So let's see how fast I can do this. Okay, that's a start. Man, this is rough. Not that crow's feet are the hardest, but they're definitely one of the keys that's easy to mess the cork or felt up on. Especially because, see right there, it just wrinkles. So you kind of just want to get a start. Yeah, so right there, the tip, it's a little bit messed up, but I always say it, I'm a function over form guy, so I plead the fifth. You may disagree with me, but that's all right. Either way, I'm gonna quickly cut the back ends of this if I know what I'm doing. Especially on these types of crow's feet where the solder point is in the center. The backs will usually have some stuck solder or anything like that. This one does. So it's gonna be a little bit harder for me to trim back here. But it's neither here nor there. What matters is that we have felt on, and it's gonna look good, regardless of whatever I do. It's gonna look better than what it was before. So basically, with this, wow, that actually looks so much better. I don't know if y'all saw what it looked like before, but it looks like one whole piece, and so I like that. We'll let that fly. So, like I said, I'm kind of in a time crunch. I did not sleep last night. We're gonna grab some big ones. I didn't sleep last night because I was trying to get everything sorted. God, it's so annoying. I had to export videos, just change them around. And something that I don't think a lot of people realize is that if you have more videos, or if your video exceeds the amount of storage, you can't do anything with it. You just can't do anything with it. And one of the videos that I have on my phone is like 40 minutes long. So it's one of the longer ones, I'll tell you that. But at the same time, it's not too big. Now see, everything would have been fine, but unfortunately I made a fatal mistake. And so just so you know, I record at 30 frames a second, 4K. So, you know, sacrifice the frames to have better quality resolution, I think is fine. I'm no expert or whiz or anything like that, so don't take that as gospel. But what I do know is that I messed up. And the way I messed up is I was filming that one video at 4K 60 frames a second. So it was getting super quality. Now, the video that I had recorded, that was, you know, 40 minutes and not at 4K super duper graphics, 60 frames, was only, you know, 4 gigabytes or something like that. The the super duper video ended up being 18 gigabytes, and that's where everything ruined, because I have no space for 18 gigabytes anywhere in this realm, in this world. So that's what struck me down, and that's what caused me to you know, ruin my night. Basically, I was like, okay, you know, I fall asleep pretty late, so definitely in the AMs, but you know, it's just one of those things that's just so annoying. I was like, God, this sucks. God. Now, what I'm doing with this, like I said, I like to stick them to my finger. And since there's 11 pads that need to go on this key, I'm going to do 5. 5, and then another 5. And that'll be that. So we're going to go very gently, very lightly. On and spin. Here I am saying gently and lightly. I got a time crunch, like I said. Plus, I'm using an entirely different phone because of all of the stupidness that has come my way. So that definitely stinks. And it's not the end of the world, but boy, I would like to to vent out some anger on some clarinets. So one thing I'm noticing right here is that these pads are a little smaller for this clarinet. Now, I know I've talked about it before. I don't know if it got in, like I said, with all the deletions and everything. Well, see, so on that G sharp, it was definitely loose. On that, what's that, the AD ring key? No, that's the F sharp key. On that, it felt pretty snug. This one's kind of small. This glue bead that I cut, we'll just do 1. That's basically the equivalent of 1 whole bead, but also there's not a lot of glue in the cup, so all should be fine. Ooh. Okay, we'll do register. We'll do the register next. But yeah, so G sharp felt loose. This feels loose, I can already tell you. You didn't see that. I'm gonna move it down a bit. But definitely feels loose. You can see gaps in there, but we're gonna let it ride because these pads are just that good. Once again, I always use pliers on this one. I have in the past, what am I doing? I don't have any pads on my fingers. In the past, I have held it with my bare hands, and it hasn't burned me or anything, but it's been a hindrance, I'd say, maybe. Like I could have gone without having my hand get warmed up, or my fingers warmed up, my fingertips at the very least. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. More often than not, I found myself winning. And well, I say that after all that's happened, after I keep running out of storage, keep losing videos. But you know what? I think what makes me a winner is my ability my ability to keep chugging on, keep moving forward. That's a good lesson. It's a lesson to be learned, you know. Just keep moving forward. Like, at the end of the day, everyone has rough moments. Not to minimize or disregard yours, but, you know, everyone has those moments, and more often than not, if you just keep pushing, you know, not to your own detriment, you'll come out in a better place, I think. But yeah, you can definitely tell that these aren't as tight or snug as I'd like them to be. Neither here nor there, unfortunately. We're just gonna have to make do. Country boys make do, right? I'm not a country boy. Not yet, at least. We'll see what happens. I still got time. So, wow. For some reason, I thought I messed up. I was like, am I missing one? Am I missing a pad? I guess I did an extra one, because like I said, it's 11, unless I count wrong, but I think I know how to do a clarinet by now. My speech is starting to slur. It's a sign. I'm about to give in, but not until I'm done with this. So, luckily, that's the upper joint put together, or pads installed on the upper joint. And that's really the hard part. Easy part is lower joint. And I'll start with lower joint after I get them, the pads installed. I say it's easy because there's only, like I said, a handful of pads they need to install. I was right. I was right. I knew I wasn't crazy. Oh, this is one that I've already used. I was like, something's not right. Something wasn't adding up. I was like, I did 5 pads on the first one and 5 pads on the second one. I'm missing one. Okay. That's good. So, these just gonna make sure on this one. That's a bit snug, but you know, something about fits like a glove or something. All right. I really didn't need to do all 3 on my finger, but it's too late. I'm just gonna do maybe one big one. We'll do 2. Just because, I don't know if you saw when I first grabbed these, but these were from the back big pile. And we'll just install these pads all nice like. For that, I didn't spin on that one just because they were smack dab in the center, and hopefully they'll just redistribute once I actually add heat to everything. Okay. But 2 should be fine. 2 should be fine. We're gonna see if I can't get away with 2. Yeah, see that's spinning pretty well. But I am getting a bit of splooging. And we'll clean that up when I'm putting the keys on the clarinet itself, just because it's easier once everything's, you know, heated up, and you just get, I don't know if that's the right word, by the way. I've been saying it and I feel stupid because it sounds like a baby word, like a toddler word. Like, I heated up the glue. I don't know. But when you heat up a pad or anything, or pad cup, you get you get everything surrounding it warmed up, and then I don't know, the glue will melt and you'll be able to swipe it off with a Q-tip, which is what I use. All right, 2 more, and then we're gonna put this clarinet back together, see what I can get up to. I'm gonna use a bigger one on this just for fun, because if I don't use the bigger ones now, you know, when will I? So, I don't know if y'all caught that, but I burnt that cork a little bit. I'm just gonna trim that. That's gonna be a reoccurring trend here. I'm just gonna trim that because some people would tell you replace the cork because you burnt it, but that's a lot of cork to be replacing, right? And always, always, always use a new blade. Because it'll make it just that much smoother, and it'll look that much better. So yeah, looks better than being burnt. All right, last pad, and then we're gonna put everything back together, oil up what needs oiling, and be done with it. I got to put it in upside down real quick. That fits pretty damn good. I'm gonna do 1, maybe 2. 2 might be killing it. I might want a smaller bead. You know what? This little cluster right here might actually do the job just well. We're gonna let it fly. That's about the same size as 2 glue beads, so I just took the long way. Okay, so that's last glue bead, last pad, last whatever. So I'm gonna do some pre-oiling real quick on these ones, because like I said, these are easy to do. Just fill it up. And if they spill out, it's fine. If any of this oil spills out, I'm not too worried about it, just because, I mean, I don't know, it's oil, it's fine. And oh, I was like, why am I okay with that? Basically, if the oil spills out, it's still gonna have a coating around the cone where the pivot screw lays. So, like I said, I'm not too worried about it, because it's just the pivot screws that really need the oil. They don't need, like, I don't know. There's not a lot of surface to that. I wish it would focus. Yeah, focus when I can't hold it in my fingers. Well, either way, we're just gonna put this bottom one in, then we're gonna go back to a hinge rod, or sorry, the BF key, I think. It's always the funniest thing when they're like, oh, could you take a look at the at the FC key? I'm like, I don't know what that is. I only know, like, which one is it on the on the right side or bottom side? Is it on the upper or lower? And they're like, lower? I'm like, left side or right side? They're like, left side? I'm like, okay, but left side facing you or left side away from you? Your left or the clarinet's left? They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know. Listen, I just fix instruments. I don't know what I'm talking about. And especially, don't even get me started when people, like, it's one thing to know the instrument nomenclature, which I do to a certain extent. But when you start telling me notes, I don't know a single note on clarinet. The only thing I know is I press this one. I press this one. And that works pretty well to me. But realistically, like, just say right hand pinky does not move properly, or this doesn't move properly. I don't know, because I feel like a lot more people will understand that than saying notes and everything, because I think there's also something lost in translation here and there. I've heard of a story where a instrument came into a shop and the person said beak key is buzzing. What the hell's a beak key? Any professional players out there, tell me, what the hell is a beak key? B-E-A-K. Well, it wasn't spelled like that, but that's how you pronounce it. Beak key. Either way. And then also when you use, oh my God, please be in my lap. Oh, it was. But when you say stuff like that, I don't know. It's not the worst thing. If you're a kid, that's fine. If you're an adult, that's fine. I only say that because it frustrates me. I'm not a clarinet player like you. I don't know what you know. But you don't know what I know. And I don't know what you know. Well, I know I don't know what you know, but I don't know. Something to be said about that. Regardless, I'm having a problem here because I did this backwards, just to do it backwards, to show you that I like doing it the other way better. I like starting from the bottom, then coming towards the top. Because now I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do a maneuver of some sort. So I have to get the spring onto the spring cradle. That's what it's called. And this is just going wrong. And it's not aggravating me, but it's annoying me. Especially because it's such a weak spring. But I'm going to make it happen one way or another. Okay. Hopefully it's latched on. Because every spring cradle, pretend that's the cradle, spring goes in there and then it has like a rounded section to keep the spring from jumping around. Either way. So whenever you're doing pivot screws, whenever you're installing pivot screws, put the bottom one in first. That's my tip to you. Okay, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna heed my advice is what we're gonna do this time. I'm just gonna load both of these up. See right there, it was just gonna come out, and instead of having it fall on the ground, I had it fall on my bench. Okay. Sometimes I like to get them without using two hands. In this case, it's not gonna work, so I'm just gonna get my needle spring. That's not right, my spring hook, that's what it's called. Let me tell you, I've been awake for, I don't even know how long, don't even ask me how long, but I've been awake longer than I should be. And luckily, it's the weekend. I'll tell you what day of the weekend. It's the day right before Monday, so I'm in for it big on Monday, basically. Now this pivot screw is wanting to come in at an angle. I don't want it to come in at an angle, so I'm just gonna keep unscrewing until it does, until it comes in straight. Oh, I know what's going on here. Okay. So basically, oh my God, the key was blocking it. So I hadn't gotten the key fully on, and basically the pivot screw was in before the key was. So the key was holding it at an angle. And so, simple mistake. Well, it's not really a mistake, but, and none of you saw that. No one got to see that because I held it close to my body. Gosh darned it. Well, can't win them all. Okay. Luckily, this is like the easiest key. That's the easiest key to just put on. It's literally the easiest key of my life. And so, while I'm here and I'm at this stage, I'll take the opportunity to heat up the pads and start to seat them. Okay, tap it a bit. Tap it a bit. That's some nice, smooth surface there. And then same with these bigger ones. It's barely protruding out, but something to be said about pad protrusion. I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm just saying that there's something to be said about it. At the end of the day, I'm not a clarinet player. Y'all will know what y'all want more than me. But I'm in a position to be able to give you what you want. If you do want the pad protrusion to be more or less, we can always make that happen. Works for me. See, cleaned up that glue. Like I said. Next, we're gonna go put these keys on. I leave them floating a little, and you'll see why. So the springs are just so annoying to put on if you have the key actually put on. But if you have them floating, you'll be able to pull the key or pull the spring out first, and then put it on the cradle before you have the key just actually put on. This spring is actually a little loose. It's a little scary because it doesn't bode well. So I'm gonna be a little delicate with it. It feels like it wants to give, and I'd rather not let it give. Yeah, that's just, I don't know. It's definitely not gonna show up, but it really is like loose. It's extremely loose. I would actually replace that if I had some springs, but I don't. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to let it ride. Yeah, heat up the hinge rod. Okay. So, problem number one we're encountering right here. This is, well, it's not the end of the world. So, it is this cork too thick. That thing is too high up. Unfortunately, I don't have the right pliers with me to bring it down, so I'm just gonna try and manually bring it down with my flipping hands. It's not working. So, two ways you could go about it. You could sand down the cork, or I'm just gonna take this off. Take this first thing off. We only want the first key off, or the technically first key. And make sure that goes in. And you know what? While we're here, I'm gonna try pushing that spring back in because it's coming out the back. It's still wiggling around. No. I was thinking about all the things I could do. Unfortunately, they're just not an option right now. I'm gonna go with these flat ones, just because my Knipex, they're not as steep of an angle as I'd like them to be. They do make narrow pliers as well. We're just gonna straighten it out like so. I'm gonna put this back on, and just looking at it like this might be fine. We're gonna go for this spring again, God willing. It's just not very good. But as long as it moves like that, it's at least moving. So in this instance, the spring is loose. Now it's loose because one way or another, it came out of the post. So let's look at this real quick. You have a spring, goes from there through the post, and it'll have this kind of entry hole in the back here. Usually you dovetail that. So it dovetails like that, and then like that, and it tapers like that. I hope I did it justice. I hope you understood from that. So basically, it'll get forced into a post. The post is like this, dovetails like that. The ends will just come up against the post, and it'll get wedged in there. Basically, it's basically getting wedged in there. So with that spring, what I would have done, if I had the time, one, and two, if I had the right tools, would be I would put a sharper dovetail on it, or widen the dovetail. And basically what that entails is getting my bench iron, or my bench anvil. It's pretty hefty, and just beating it with a hammer. It's very easy to dovetail things, at the very least when it comes to these needle springs. And so, but that moves more or less. Like I said, I'm being a little bit of a hack because of my obligations and such. Now I'm gonna do a suction test real quick. Okay, so suction test did not go as planned. You can, I don't know if you can see, it's just not even closing. So we're gonna push down on that, or we're gonna hold the pad cup and push down on the touch piece. Now it's closing, see? And the way to check if this one's not closing, just tap, give it some taps. It's not moving, so that's good. Let's give it another go. That is beautiful. See, that was just light, like no seating, no nothing. And once we add these levers, that may change. So we're gonna do another test after I put these in, if I get the chance. I like to rest them on the threads because it gives them some way to stay on where I want them to be, I guess. I don't know. Can I work? Thank you. Goodness. I'm not, like I said, I'm not angry. It's just like, how many times must I do this? Must I go for the same thing and mess up every time? It's like, you know, it's like, gosh, what is going on? But, you know, it's to be expected. Well, of me right now. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses for myself, but, nice. But, I did get no sleep, so, you know. All right, so this, not as fast, but what did I just say there? It's not as fast, but we're gonna go try and speed to it. So I'm not gonna speak as much as I should. That's, well, maybe I lied. Maybe I am gonna speak. Look at me, I'm trying to put it in. It comes from the top. Gosh. And then I just stuck a needle in my freaking hand. Try not to curse. It's not good to curse so early in the morning, right? At 8 a.m. Now, just because I know some of you are thinking it, I did forget to put some oil on. So I'll put some oil on. See, my mind's starting to go, so we gotta finish this quick. It'd be great if I wasn't stuck on this one. Okay. Boom. That's one key a minute. Does anyone do it faster than me? No. I'm the fastest clarinet technician in the world. Instantly proves myself wrong. Great. Okay. I'll put this key on next. I'm starting to tweak out. I mean, my hands are normally shaky, but you see how bad it is right now. And once again, we're just gonna go completely like down. And also, like, while I was doing everything with the recording and everything, I found out my chair tilts farther back than I thought. So I was really tilting back, and I was like, and yeah, so, you know, I was like, wow, my chair's very comfortable. Very comfortable to sleep in when you haven't had much sleep. I literally like closed my eyes because I was waiting on multiple things to download. I tried uploading some video and none of it was working, but I don't know. What matters is I still have the videos. So as long as I have the videos, you know, that'll be fine. Now, it's not moving up or down. We're just gonna back out this hinge rod just a little. There you go, moving now. And that's fine. I messed up. Let's see if I can work around it. I can't. What have I done? No. Okay. So this is the key. This is one of the keys, or the key I was mainly, quote unquote, worried about. We're gonna see how that larger cork does on this instrument. So we're following the slotted spring, and we're just gonna mosey on up next to it. Seems to be placed. Placing's good. And I'm gonna ruin it. Once again, we're moseyed on up next to it. Not quite. Okay, maybe there. This should be it. I can see golden hour coming in outside. Not a good sign. Yep. Man, I am so good at what I do. And you will see. Look upon me in my resplendence, or whatever it is, my resplendence. Wow, how does he do it? How does he do it? Well, I'll tell you. I have my family depending on me. Friends and family, their hopes and dreams and aspirations, all ride upon me. So, with their hopes in me, I can do anything. Whatever. I have so many people counting on me. I can't afford to fail. Yeah, I'm fixing a clarinet. Sure. Sure. Okay. Now see, fixing, I was just thinking about it, but fixing is kind of a loose term. I don't know. You tell me what you think. Comment down below. Is this considered fixing a clarinet? To me, kinda. I think, not that it's a loaded question or anything, but it's kinda fixing a clarinet. I mean, I don't know. When I think of fixing bells or cracks or chips or something, or keys that are broken, things that are broken. When it's stuff that needs a repad, however, can I call that fixing? Because fixing implies it's broken, but it's not completely broken. I don't know. Maybe it's like a tune-up. Because, you know, say your car gets broken down, or not broken down, but needs new hoses or something. Is it broken? It gets fixed, I guess, but I don't know. To be fair, you don't need pads in a car, and you don't need, well, that's not true. You got brake pads, right? You know what? Whatever. We're gonna move past that. Point being, I'm actively using a clarinet. Now, see, right here, something's going on. Unfortunately, I don't give a damn, so I'm gonna brute force it. I'm joking. I think the springs just weren't lining up. The flat springs weren't lining up with the slotted line, the slots. We'll just call them the slots. Okay. That's, like I said, just par for the course. Honestly, I'm gonna share this with y'all. Sometimes when I do get angry and pissed off at an instrument, whenever I lash out in anger on the instrument, it honestly ends up fixing and ends up better, believe it or not. I know that sounds stupid, but there's been 2 occasions in which I've gotten extremely fed up with an instrument, and I just vented my anger out on it, and it came out 100 times better. Well, I'll just say it out loud and not visualize it for y'all, but basically, well, maybe a little, but basically, for saxophones, if your bell keys aren't, that's the wrong key, that's the wrong screw. If your bell keys aren't completely seating, so you have a flat and then you have the key on top of the tone hole. If the key's like that and there's space in the back, you have to bend the bell. Now, there was a time where I was working on a saxophone for God knows how long, and I realized there's a frog in my throat right now. But I realized this pisses me off because I was constantly bending it and nothing was moving, nothing was shifting, and I was like, this pisses me off to no avail. I'm done playing nice. Okay, I didn't say any of that, but I was just like, God. And so I just ended up getting it. And then when I checked, perfect. It was perfect. Like, I was like, oh my God, I need to get angry more because that was perfect. But like I said, not all instances does that work. There's been a couple times where it has. I'm doing this because I see some buffing compound still on there. But, you know, as long as you're not lashing out at other people, I don't really see a problem. Well, no. You should have your anger in check. And that's not to say I don't have my anger in check, but you know, if you get frustrated, I mean, people get frustrated. They say that anger is the easiest feeling to feel, or something like that. Or it's the easiest emotion to feel, you could say. I think that's smarter. And I'd agree. It is. It definitely is. But I think as long as you're conscious of your anger, that's better than most, I'd say. Most people. Either way, right now we're sprinting towards the finish line. I can taste it. I need to be very careful here, especially with this key, because you just run the risk of just, oops, going straight into the cork or the body. So careful with that key. We're just going to give that a nice little run around. Heat up that key. And then heat up this key. And that key. Now this key, I'm not a fan. See, this one, smooth. This one, you can see, you'd have to get your tiny little fingers in there. Now, this isn't what I normally use, but it'll suit the job. I'll just get there and push down on this. And boom, smooth. So, file that one away, right? Okay, so we are in, like I said, final stretch. And I am very excited to be done with this. And then finally, take a nap or something. It's like I said, it's daylight, it's golden hour, we're cooked, we're done. It is what it is. Can I just do this and have it be going in? Okay. There we go. There we go. It's all about placement. That was a long rod. You see how long I was screwing it in for? Honestly, that might be a little too much. So what I'll do is, let's see, do I have anything flat? No? Well, I guess we're gonna go back to the Dremel wrench. I'm just gonna get up there, push down on the pad cup. Went too far, and go back around. Okay, I think that's good. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna try and mess around with that too much. Next, we're gonna put the A key on. I don't know if you can tell my mood. I'm chipper. We're close. We're close. And you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy for it. Because I want to be done with this. Just because of all this hardship that I've endured. That's no shade to the clarinet or anything, but I know it understands that that it's been rough. It saw everything that had happened, me going like, oh my God, what's going on with my stuff? But we're almost there. I can taste it, I can feel it. Now I can already feel that key or that screw needs to come out a little, because as is, the A throat is not touching the tone hole. Okay, so real quick. That's the sound you want to hear. That's gold. Beautiful. Now we're gonna put that set screw right back in. So there's no play. Now with these pads, with normal pads, I'll start off with, you want to get rid of any lost motion. So look at this. That little bit of play, you usually leave that in because bladder pads swell. Swell with gas, swell with heat, humidity, all of that. With these pads, they don't. So you can have that zeroed out. And I know a lot of you clarinet players will appreciate that. Be like, oh my God, it's effortless. It happens all at once. Beautiful. Next part, we gotta check this bridge connection. So I usually just go off of feel. People will bash on me for that. Do whatever you want, I don't care. Might be a little high, but honestly, might play. Let me see. No, it feels right. I'm gonna test it. So we're gonna put this thing together. Now, like I said, I am not a clarinet player, nor do I claim to be one. The only reason I play clarinet is to test these instruments. So here I go. Well, I messed up there, but whatever. I realized I forgot to touch the register key. At least I think I did. We'll find out here in a second. If this plays any better, we'll see. There's still something to be desired. And so I just heat up like every key on the upper, because that's where it's coming from, especially the trill keys. The trill keys is probably the culprit. So you want to hit those trills, all of them. Don't leave a single one untouched. Okay, let's have another look. So, what that tells me right there is that it is there, but it needs a little more in terms of the bridge connection. So I'm gonna raise it. And we're gonna see what happens here. And I'll show you. So I raised the bridge connection. We're gonna press down on that. That's great. But look at this. Got too much play there. So I'm gonna go back. I'm just gonna bend it back down. I'm doing it off screen because, well, I don't know. To me, closer to my body is better. Okay, let's have a look at it now. Let me also hit the G key, the G sharp, and also the inline B. So basically I hit everything except for the ring keys on this clarinet. Let me see. Like I said, still leaves a lot to be desired, but that's just first, like putting everything together, adding some heat. That's just first touch, first everything. That's not even trying to do anything. That's not even floating. That's not even looking through a leak light. That's all just natural, raw. And I think it's great. So, in this case, just to be sure that we're right, I'm gonna turn on my little neat thing that I got. With the power of the sun, God. We're just gonna go up here. Send it. Okay. I see the problem. I see the problem clear as day. I'm sure if you could see, you would see. Okay, maybe from here. There's still light coming through. Now, is that a problem with the bridge? I don't think so. So I'm gonna heat that up. So that's definitely doing a lot better, as you can tell already. We're gonna go for another little run. Tap, 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 tap. And it's very important that you have your lights off when you're doing this, the leak light. Because, you know, other light will get in the way. If that makes sense. If it makes sense. Okay. So, what leak light is telling me is that I still need to add some more heat. And like I said, it's just adding heat, just tapping it. Okay. Seems good. We're gonna go for it again. This will be the final time, swear to God. So, like I said, I'm not a clarinet player. Don't at me, but I think that's good. I think that's good. We're gonna let it fly. Well, you know, it's not the end all be all, but, and I think in this one, the bell's cracked somewhere. Let's see if we can't find it. I might be wrong. Well, it doesn't matter. Point being is, there we are. Beautiful clarinet, beautifully done.